So I use the Quizdom technology in my lecture too, and we actually use it in the lectures and the labs. In our syllabus, if you read it through, you'll see that we require the Quizdom remote, but in the lecture there is no points associated with their Quizdom questions that they answer that goes towards a grade from lecture. In the lecture, I'm using the Quizdom primarily so that I get a chance to view their understanding immediately, and the student also can reflect on how they're understanding something by seeing the results of the whole class and seeing how they compare to them. So I think it's a valuable tool for being able to gauge the learning that's taking place throughout the lecture. With the large class that we have, the 300 students or so, there's no way that I can have all of them participate. I cannot take questions all the time from all of them, but I still want them to try to answer. And yes, when you pose a question just in general, though, some of them will try it out, some of them will think through, some might raise their hand if you ask them yes versus no. But still, the clickers allow me to pose a question, and it actually kind of requires them to all try, and they commit, and they think it through. And there's no, it's a low stakes. There's no penalty if they get it wrong. In fact, even a good question can be that many of them get it wrong initially. Or you get a good true-false question that half get true and half get false. You say, wow, we still need to then think it through. Let's go through and reword the question. Let's highlight a word, circle it. And you say, oh, and then they start changing their answer. And it can be revealing, that learning process. So the Quizdom clickers allow me to do that. So in the lecture, it is more of a tool for the learning and for also breaking up your lecture. I mean, there's nothing like having a Quizdom question every 15 or 20 minutes just to get them to click in. It kind of re-engages them, makes them refocus on the material if they've been kind of drifting off or that little daydream comes in. The clicker question, you say, okay, my next one's a clicker. I want you to think carefully about what we just talked about and try this question out. And then you wait for that little bit while they click in, and you look at the results, and then you wrap that up or discuss it. Now in the labs, they bring their clickers to labs too. There we do have them monitor their participation with the clickers. So clickers are required. The GSIs look at their Quizdom records to see if they're participating, but it's still not based on whether they get it right. So I'm not using the clickers in the classroom to do a quiz or to do anything that actually counts toward their grade, because students need to take quizzes in different ways. Sometimes they need to go back from question 3 to go change their answer to question 2, and you can't do that in a Quizdom setting. But it still just really brings a level of being able to engage in the class, that every student actually can participate. And even though it's kind of a false engagement in some sense, they're not really raising their hand and saying it, they still are kind of forced to do that learning with me. And you can also bring in a little humor with some of the Quizdom questions too. It can be, so have you started homework 1? And you put up a question that says, yes, no, I will tomorrow, or homework 1, what homework 1? So you get them to just laugh about it, remind them there is that first homework out there, and you can see the results, which are really neat. I also like the feature that you can show the display of what the students are thinking. You could leave it up there and still talk through something and let them change their answer. Or you put up the display and there's one that's more prominent and they start changing their answer to that one, and then you reveal that this one over here, your initial gut idea was really right. And they think, oh, wow. So you do get some different ways of understanding a concept and learning an idea, and it's easier to correct it in the lecture. I'd rather let them get it wrong in a lecture question with Quizdom, learn why it's wrong, and then on the exam they won't make that same mistake.